I come on eating and everything for real. I came on. I already ate my snacks. I just got water.
That's not that type of party.
Right.
We usually wait till we get here to do it.
Right. It's dinner time now.
I'm just rolling up. Kellie just making her dinner.
Right.
Terry,
I'm usually late because I'm making my dinner.
Terry just popping open a beer. Janessa just waking up.
Right.
This is not
present.
That's why we had to celebrate that 1 year, because we surprised we made it.
Yeah, we showed up. And did we show up prepared? Like I said, already finished snacks and drinks and smoking. No. But we here each and every Wednesday. Well, Tuesday when people hear it, but we're here.
Yeah, look at your face. I see you.
Who face?
Yours.
What's wrong with my face?
It's all no nothing. You know how like when people be losing weight and it starts showing their face.
Oh, I got a little
they cheekbones and stuff.
I'm
about to be live for real.
If you look back a year ago, you'll see that you saw a whole bunch of more fat around there. For sure. You're gonna have to do a before and after, side by side of what we looked like a year ago and today. The growth, at least in me.
Right. This is it. Don't act like it's for all of us. It's you.
Well, your hair has gotten longer.
It was selfish. Oh, we don't want to hear that. that was self-serving.
Yeah.
Let's all do before and after. Oh, really? All of us, huh? All of us. Gotcha.
All right. Hold on. I gotta put my teeth in.
Lord have mercy.
And then I'm ready.
And then we got to go.
All right.
Then for audio, she's not talking about her teeth. She has a Invisalign. Because I know Kellie's looking for a husband. I don't want nobody thinking she.
Hey man, that might actually help.
Snag a tooth out here.
That might help.
I mean, it might help. It might help if she's all gums, but if she's snag a tooth, that's worse. That's gonna be.
Yes,
a little.
Well, hypothetically, we're talking about you.
Okay, I'm ready. My teeth are in.
Teeth are in. Risa, do you want to do the honors?
Yes, I do. Boom shakalaka.
Top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world.
Welcome back. Happy New Year's. Welcome actually to season 2, episode 1 of the Worst Ones podcast. We have made it to a new year, guys. I hope 2021 was wonderful for you. We are now here in 2022. But for those of y'all who know how real this podcast is, we don't give a fuck about hiding shit. All right. It is 2021 when we're recording this. All right. But we don't want to record during the holidays.
Off too, you know? So I got Christmas. I got family. Santa knows
we need a break.
It's like December 4th or some crazy shit. 2nd, December, whatever. Like, yeah, it is. Yeah, hell, I might not make it. Hell, we don't know shit. We
will. We will enter 2022.
Well, at least get an episode out of me, all right? Because we were thinking ahead. But welcome once again to the Worst Ones podcast. This is season 2, episode 1. Janessa is still on her hiatus because she is stressed with just life. She got school, she got work, she's moving.
She is missing and feared dead. So everybody pray.
She's in a relationship. You know, she got. I'm just saying, she got a lot going on. I mean, her relationship is good, but still, that's another task. You feel me?
Hey, I got one of those plus 2 podcasts, a comedy career, and a business to run, and I'm writing a book, so I don't want to hear about it.
Well, you should ask for a break, Tara. You should ask for a break. I don't want to hear it.
The same one.
She asked
well,
and she received. Okay.
Knock and the door shall be open. All right, I'll learn.
You was with the rest of us saying, "Oh, I don't care. I'll shoot whatever." Okay. Well, now you're here. Now you're here.
I will.
Right.
I'll always make it work.
No,
you do, Terry.
You the man. For those of y'all who, if it's your first time listening, we are Preacher's Kids. My name is Rudy Wilson. We got Kellie Leezy in the building, Terry Weezy in the building, and as a special guest host, in replacement for Janessa until she's back next episode, we have our number one, possibly only fan.
500 million, 100,000. Don't do us.
She is the 500 million, 100,000. My sister, blood related, same mama, same papa, same uterus, all that. Risa Geraldine Wilson III. How are you?
I don't think the third is on that for sure.
I don't think the third's on that.
That sounds fake. You should have put Esquire behind it while you're at it.
Yeah, I don't know. But Reese, how you doing? Welcome to the podcast once again. You know, you were on season 1 way back in the beginning. But welcome back. How you doing?
I'm excited to be here. I was geeked when Kellie invited me. I was a little crushed because my own brother didn't consider me, but hey, best friend came through.
Yeah.
And she invited me. I definitely wanted to say boom shakalaka.
You did great. You did great.
Yeah. I knew I said it kind of fast and kind of hard, and I hated it after I said it. But
I love the passion. I love the passion.
And I'm glad to be here. I don't want to fan out, but I'm gonna try not to.
Okay.
But we are so happy you're here.
Well, that begs the question: who's your favorite?
Honestly, to be honest, Terry is really my favorite. I like the evolution of Terry, from Terry coming in to where Terry is now. Also, I'm like pretty much related to the other three.
I'm about to say, I think it's kind of biased.
I feel like I got
to hear that, Rudy? But she chose me over family, basically.
But Terry has had the most growth and evolution. I just like seeing a good character evolution, and Terry has had the most so far. But hey, you never know. After season 2, Kellie's had the most physical evolution.
Oh, season 2, I'm going Tiger King. Like, for real.
Oh, God.
I'm going to get a mullet.
What does that even mean?
I might turn gay. I don't know. I might do the second season gay.
Okay.
Well, you need to start now. This is episode 1, guys.
Right.
Rudy, you're the only male here. I wouldn't say that too loud.
Bro, we're in 2 different cities. I'm good.
What are you eating, Rudy?
Oh, this cough drop. Shout out to Hall.
Rudy is turned into my dad. My dad eats cough drop.
And I'm not sick. It's just candy. It's sweet.
She's like, what are you eating?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Kellie Leezy, how art thou?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. Happy that Reese is here. I noticed on the intro that she's on the intro too. You're on the intro. All the siblings.
All the siblings,
yeah. All the siblings. I mean, I've seen it every week, but then like you being here, I'm like, oh, she's on the intro too. Except my siblings. But anywho.
All right. Well, that's personal, y'all fault. Got you.
Right. Okay.
Opportunity was there.
But I'm doing well. Can't complain.
Gotcha.
Happy to be here. Happy it's a new year.
Right.
2021 was amazing. 2022 is gonna be even greater. So I'm ready.
Gotcha. Terry Wainster.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us.
I'm not talking about nothing.
There you go.
That's how I'm going to change. That's my new character for season 2. Is I don't say anything. I say one sentence the entire podcast, but it's brilliant. And then everybody will just assume I'm a genius.
Okay.
Terry say one sentence. Yeah.
What's the old Southern saying is, if people think you're dumb, just don't open your mouth and prove them right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, are you smart enough to tell us how you've been doing, or I mean, can we get to that?
Since when? Yesterday? Because you've already spilled the beans that we're doing these.
No, y'all spilled the beans yesterday.
Actually, on Tuesday.
That's why I decided to just say fuck it. I'm like, okay, right, it was Tuesday, yeah, because when Darius was here. Like yeah. So I just say, I guess we not hiding nothing. So this is pre-recorded.
Marissa done already figured it out. You know.
How was your Christmas holiday? How was your New Year, Terry?
How was my Christmas? My Christmas is great. I bought a bunch of big.
Did Santa come and bring you some gifts?
No, I was Santa. I bought a bunch of big, expensive gifts for my friends and family just to piss Rudy off.
There you go. There you go. Gotcha.
I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's awesome.
Looking forward to New Year's. That's what's next, right?
No, we've already had New Year's.
I thought we did New
Year's.
New Year's.
New Year's is already passed. Yeah, sorry.
Well, it was great too.
Good.
Yeah, still hungover. All that. It was.
I got you.
Yeah, technically, New Year's was 3 days ago.
Okay.
Okay.
But today is what, January
The 4th.
4th? Okay.
You can't
my
add.
My birthday's in 10 days. Then we go
Amen.
ahead.
You said it was 3 days ago.
Teresa, what's your birthday plans since it's coming up?
In the next week or two.
Our birthday. What you got planned?
I'm not sure. Not sure yet, but I'll keep you posted.
Better hurry. It's in 10 days.
I'm telling you.
Next week. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, you wildin'. At this point, you ain't doing nothing. All right.
If I haven't gone to Universal Studios in December, I want to go to Universal Studios.
Well, that'd be fun. But it's after December, so you should have.
But I thought we already spilled the beans then.
That's out the bag. Absolutely. No, we get it. We got you. All right. Yeah. Well, I'm fine. Still here in Tampa, just like I was the last 2 days, even though this was weeks apart. All right. Let's get into it. So, Terry, tell us what we're talking about, and Risa, this was
saved
catered,
specifically.
Yes, especially for you.
Well, I was going to do it yesterday, and they was like, nope. Kellie's like, nope, we got to save that one.
Yeah.
Should Christian children be able to read / watch Harry Potter and or other magical things, aka made up stuff? I think that's pretty clear. I don't think it needs any further explanation.
All right.
Because we all know one weirdo in our lives, right? Even as adults, even if it's their kids, where it's like, oh, have you seen? You're talking to a child. It's like, have you seen Harry Potter? No, I'm not allowed. Mom says he's the devil.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
Go ahead, Risa.
Yes, I think we should. The crazy thing is I just watched Harry Potter, all the movies, for the first time a few weeks ago. And
it's not bad,
amazing.
Right?
They were amazing. At 33, I was like, this is better than some other stuff I've seen. And I feel like I do remember the conversations when we were younger. The church was like, oh, Harry Potter is like the devil, it's sorcery, it's witchcraft. They shouldn't, watch or read it. But then at the same time, they could watch shows. This show wasn't out back then, but shows like A Power or something was totally fine. But then Harry Potter is a problem. And Harry Potter had more life gems in it than I've heard in any type of power or, anything else, or Martin or anything. As great as they are, Harry Potter was given all kind of gems for life. I was inspired. So I do think they should be able to read it. I think you just need to explain the difference between, I think it's more of explaining the difference between like fiction and, facts of what really, you really can't fly on a broom and stuff like that. But the crazy thing is on Harry Potter, they don't really be on a broom that much either, to be honest. So only when they play the game. So it's like, I don't think that that it should be a problem, honestly. It's just a fiction, it's a fictional story.
What makes you, I guess, compare it to Power? Like, and I guess I'm asking that because I don't, yes, people do watch Power, but I think if to this same question, if you want to go really deep and really technical, Christian people or children or whatever probably shouldn't, especially if you feel that way about Harry Potter, watch Power either, I guess is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So I guess what's the comparison with power? I guess with the whole Harry Potter. I guess.
Oh yeah. So Harry Potter is about sorcery and witchcraft.
Right.
Which is a sin in the Bible, and then power has everything else. I mean, it's
right.
killing, it's infidelity. I mean, it's everything.
Right.
So I feel like you can't say one's a problem and then not have like outrage about the other. Like nobody goes in about I'm using power, but there's other stuff. Right. So it can't be one versus the other. Like if you're going to condemn all, then condemn all and have the same energy. But if you are going to, if you're not, then leave it be. But also, Harry Potter is very fictional. Like, I'm excited to read the books, but the movies are very fictional. I mean, like, there's nothing like that can happen. So it's very hard to even try to reenact a Harry Potter than it is a Power. Power, you can do that right now. Harry Potter, there's no, unless you go to Universal Studios to the Harry Potter land and pretend it's still not happening. So
you don't think like sorcery and witchcraft and stuff is real?
I didn't say I don't think it's real. I said in regards to Harry Potter, should children be able to read it? I think they should be able to read a children's book. Yes.
But I'm saying, but they could reenact it though. If sorcery and stuff is real, maybe I don't know if they could fly on a broom, but I mean they could be into that if it's real though.
Yeah, but if you actually watch Harry Potter and read Harry Potter, it well, as far as watching, I can't speak for reading because I haven't read it yet. But as far as watching, it goes into it, but it doesn't really go into it. You know what I'm saying? So it's very easy to be like, I think it was very easy for people to be like, because they saw just like a wizard with a wand and be like, oh, don't. But they never, again, they're speaking about something they never watched. Like, it wasn't about, I mean, for that, then you got to talk about with the Salem witch trials and stuff that we had to read in high school. I mean, that's more about witchcraft and sorcery.
But I think that's what, we kind of use Harry Potter for the title, but I think that's what Terry's kind of asking about, like all of that stuff. Like, even if you take it away from Harry Potter, go to whatever you just said, the witch files or whatever you said, like
Salem witch trials.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I heard X-Files and Witch at the same time. I'm sorry, but like, should Christian children or should Christians be watching that? You know what I'm saying? I've never seen any of this
Twilight.
Stuff, so
you're not gonna talk about Twilight.
No, I haven't seen Harry Potter or anything. So you know what I'm saying? So I'm really just speaking from the mindset of people, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, should any of this be allowed? Not just Harry Potter specifically.
Yes, I think you need to know. I think if you don't know, and I'm going to use this phrase very loosely, but I think I'm always a believer in you need to know the devil you're dancing with. So in regards to, I mean, Harry Potter is very fictional. So is Twilight, even though if I could become a vampire tomorrow, I would. Kelly, no, I was deep in there, very deep. But then Salem witch trials are also something, I guess, a totally different mood and shift from Harry Potter. So that is really more about witchcraft and sorcery and spells and for real, like that goes into real things like that. But I do think it's very good to be aware of things. I don't think, because if you don't become aware of it, then you don't know. And if you get introduced to it the incorrect way, kind of like drinking, if you get introduced to it the incorrect way, then you can overdo it and not do it correctly, or you could potentially harm yourself. So I think, yes, that you should at least be introduced to it and introduced to it to a way where you can at least get some understanding. And then at least like now you know. Now, if you decide to go out and become a witch or whatever, then, that's on you. But I feel like, yes, you need to be aware for sure.
Go ahead, Kelly.
No, I was going to say, even Teresa's point in bringing in power, the show Power, I think it's about, I guess what I gathered from that is content. And as Christians, what type of content should we be watching, listening to, bringing into our spirit, period, anyway, right? And I think that, right, my daddy watched Power, for sure. And a lot of
you put Kevin out there.
Most women watch Power. But
Rudy, like, so did Lardell. Lardell was hooked with Tommy.
And you just talked about in one of the recent episodes how spiritual your mother was, and she is here watching Power.
Yeah, watching Power.
Right. And so again, I think it's a conversation, like Risa said, about what's real, what's not, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, what's healthy, what's not healthy, or unhealthy. Letting your children know that this is just entertainment, this is just fun, this is not real. If you take away Harry Potter, you take away the Power Rangers too, because they had superpowers and turned into things.
But back to my question. But is witchcraft and sorcery real? Because if that is real, then I don't think the conversation is, "Hey kids, this isn't real." It's they're using something real for entertainment, but you shouldn't do it. Just like if you watch Power, people are shooting guns or whatever for entertainment, but you shouldn't do it. You feel what I'm saying? That's a different conversation than to say it's not real. If I'm being too specific, but
also, aren't you giving power and authority to those things if you're saying like, oh, you can't watch them because somehow the devil get in you? Like, aren't you lending power to these programs and the mythology?
Yes,
I mean, even voodoo. One of the tenets of voodoo is that you can't be affected by it if you don't believe in it. That's one of their own tenets. You can only be affected by voodoo if you actually believe in it.
So what?
I'm saying, if you tell your kids, are you harming or hurting them? Rather than just tell them like, oh, this is fake, it's make believe, it's just like every other thing. Because if you're saying that all magic is witchcraft and it's all bad and it's all evil, you're not just getting rid of Harry Potter. You're getting rid of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the DC Universe. You're getting rid of a lot of Disney movies. You're getting rid of, so you're telling me that
as a fan, all of that sounds bad. But if all that shit was the devil, toss that shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, now, I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying, but if it is, I wouldn't care what it had to get rid of if it was something that was evil and I just didn't know it.
I don't think that the fairy godmother in Cinderella was evil.
I mean, she was a little tricky. Midnight little curfew and stuff. I ain't like that.
Because think about how many Disney movies you got to throw out.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. You're talking about as a Disney fan. Like, yeah, of course, I don't want to lose Aladdin and all that. But if I'm talking about
that brings me back to the hypocrisy of religion a lot. We want to just be able to cherry pick what we want to cherry pick.
That's facts.
Homosexuality, that's a sin in God's eyes. It's an abomination. But eating crab legs, that's fine, even though they're in the same chapter in the same book in the Bible. They're literally four verses apart, and it uses the same exact verbiage. It says, "A man lies with another man is an abomination."
Pull it up, Terry.
Now do not eat crab legs.
Terry just pull that shit now. Terry, pull that up. Pull it. Give it.
It literally says abomination. I'm saying, on
pull it up.
Them.
I got you. Pull it up.
Pull it up right now. We've talked about this before. We did this once before.
I know, but we didn't pull it up. We didn't pull it up last time.
We did pull it up. Stop smoking so much weed.
Not about crab legs. No.
Yes, we did.
You don't want to smoke if you think we pulled up a scripture about crab legs. Ain't nobody on this podcast heard a scripture about crab legs.
Okay,
she's been listening to every episode, and she ain't heard no.
I tried to tell you the verse, and you were talking. You were yelling about crab legs. It says in one verse, it says, "A man that lieth with another man."
What's the verse?
Is an abomination to the Lord.
What's the verse?
Like 4 or 5 verses later, it says, "Eating of the shelled fish is an abomination to the Lord."
What's the verse, Terry? What is the verse? Where you?
With this guy? How did you grow up with this guy?
So how you stop me from yelling and you don't even got the scripture on deck?
To be honest,
because I know the scripture already.
Rudy used to be a mute. He didn't really talk. So.
That he been on 100 this week. These last 2 days, Rudy been on 100.
What you mean, man? Y'all tired? I gotta carry this podcast. my back hurt. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm bullshitting. But no, but seriously though, like I get as a Disney fan or whatever, yeah, I wouldn't want to lose Aladdin or whatever, because of the genie. But I'm saying, like, if for whatever reason these things were witchcraft and they did just say could be reenacted or affected or whatever, and I'm not saying they can, because I ain't did no research on this. I'm just talking from a perspective. Then I wouldn't care if we had to lose Disney movies for the sake of just say sanctification or spirituality or whatever the case may be. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if these movies are evil or not, but
I mean, I see what you're saying, but I think in the current state of things, I think that if you take away, like I said, even the power to the Harry Potter, like if you're going to take away content because it could be evil or it's sinful, then you're taking away just about anything. Name me a film, a TV show. Bless you.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe it. Bless you. See, he stayed on mute. This.
I worked
name me a TV show, a film.
Facing the Giants.
Oh, okay. All watch crappy movies for the rest of our lives.
Whatever. You said that one. Fire. You said that one. Passion of Christ.
Name me a mainstream.
Passion of Christ.
That's Mel Gibson. What you mean?
Okay. Name me more
Passion
than
of the
one.
Christ was kind of crappy too, but whatever. Nobody will say that. I'm
just being funny. I get your point.
Right. That doesn't, and so all right, and so like again, in Reese's point, children is to Harry Potter as adults is to Power,
Come on.
In terms of if you're telling me that this is, and these are children who they just reading the book just for entertainment. As adults, we know that Tommy running over somebody, killing somebody, stabbing somebody.
But let me ask you this though: do you think there's a certain age limit where there's, I guess, an age appropriate thing? Because even like if I had and I'm just making up, so if I had an 18-year-old kid and he was playing Grand Theft Auto, I could trust more of him not taking that to, and believing, just say that more than if a younger child. You feel what I'm saying? So with Harry Potter, do you think that it's like at any age, if whenever they get introduced to it, like it's okay? Or even with that, because with Power is still an age appropriate thing. I don't think kids should watch Power. That has nothing to do with Christianity. I'm just saying that's just appropriateness. So, and once again, I've never seen Harry Potter, so it could be the cleanest movie ever, sure. But with the sorcery and stuff, from a Christian standpoint, do you think you have to wait till they get to an age where you can explain that before they consume it?
No. Because I watched all 8 movies, and me and Kelly was just at Universal City Walk last week.
You were grown, Risa.
But what I'm saying is, like, them kids had on their robes, and nobody was out there trying to fly a broom. They were just happy to have a robe. They had their little wand from Oleander's. Hey, that's the wand shop, and that was it. They were just happy to have it to be like Harry Potter. They weren't out there like they literally were just happy.
How you don't know they not in their room, stirring some shit.
Because nothing gonna happen. Pizza, right?
Because nothing gonna happen. So they may be in there trying to imitate whatever, but nothing is going to happen.
Zing, pow, bang, and they
okay.
You don't know what's
Rudy.
Go ahead, Terry. Yeah.
It's Leviticus 11:10, by the way.
Talk to me.
And in Leviticus 12:10, it says that a man that lieth with another man as if he was a woman is an abomination unto the Lord, and they have committed an abomination. Leviticus 11:10 says, and all that have not fins or scales in the seas and in the rivers and all that move in the waters, and any of the living things is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
If you eat them, or do it didn't say nothing about eating them, it just said they'll be an abomination to you. Come on now, clear it up now. Talk to me.
Okay. Yes, that's what it says.
It didn't. It said eat.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It starts it in 11:9, but the point I was making was the fact that the Bible uses the same word for eating shellfish as it does for homosexuality.
I'm saying, but read 9 though. I need to hear where it says eat. If you want me to stop eating the shellfish, Terry, I need to be delivered all the way.
These shall ye eat. All of these are in the water. Whatsoever hath fins, scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them ye shall eat. And all that have not fins and scales, you see how it keeps going?
So we can eat fins and scales, just the ones that's not fins and scales.
You can eat fins and scales. It's the difference between fish and shellfish. Do you get it? That's what they're saying.
I didn't know. I thought we had to drop seafood altogether.
No,
right.
no, fish is fine. Jesus ate
So
fish.
as of today, you're no longer eating crab legs. Is that what I hear? Rudy?
I don't know. What's fins and scales? I guess what scales? I mean fins and
fish.
scales. Fins and scales. Oh, okay,
Fish.
yeah. Scales, cause scales. Yeah. So I guess, yeah. Guess I don't want to go to hell. Hope for some crabs. You know. But
Okay.
Well, it's my father's favorite food, by the way. So I think you're okay. My father's
We don't know if your father has made
it. And Kellie's father watches Power. Okay.
Yep.
So God, I can have my shellfish.
Right, you go get to the gate and be like, Pastor Kevin in here? Oh, he got power. No, I know I'm right.
Because if he in here,
I'm getting it.
in here.
Right. You be in there calling out everybody says,
I had some troubles earlier with connecting, so I had to switch over to my iPad. But I did want to bring this up when you were talking about power, because when we're talking about magic and all that, what about VeggieTales? You guys know? Anybody know what VeggieTales is?
I know what it is, but
I can't remember it.
Okay,
I remember
so how can you tell me?
Is that the Christian one?
Yeah, look, Christian veggie. Yeah,
hang on. Yeah, it's the Christian one. Hang on. So how can you tell me that, say, Davy and Goliath that talked about God, but he had a talking dog?
Davy?
That's not magic. And a bunch of sentient vegetables, that's not magic either. But somehow, when I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to watch the Smurfs because that was considered magic. So where do we draw the line here?
Right. It's cherry picking.
Because once you start tossing that out there, now Disney's off the rack.
But cherry picking doesn't necessarily make something. Go ahead, Terry. My bad. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, now Disney's off the rack, Marvel's off the rack, comic books off the rack. I mean, why don't you just turn your kid into a serial killer right now?
Right, but cherry picking does not necessarily make something right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like if it does. It's hypocritical. If you pick and choose, but I'm saying but I say it's hypocritical, but I'm saying, but it doesn't mean that what you're picking and choosing changes whether it's right or wrong. Like if I cherry pick like I want to fornicate, but I don't want to steal. You feel what I'm saying? And once again, I'm not saying that Harry Potter is wrong. I'm just saying if I want to choose, okay, I'll fornicate as a Christian, but I won't steal. That just because I'm cherry picking doesn't make the fornication.
That's two totally different things.
Justified, but I'm saying it doesn't make it justified.
The difference of what I'm talking about is you're not even close. The difference is I'm going to fornicate, but I'll pull out.
You're making the point, but you're making the point.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I don't even know what that means at all.
Well, yeah,
I don't know
because
that.
he's talking about two totally different sins. I'm saying all of these things are magic. What makes VeggieTales?
But what I'm saying is, if magic is wrong and VeggieTales has magic in it, then it's wrong as well. It doesn't necessarily mean that.
Of course, it has magic in it. It's talking vegetables.
Right. So what I'm saying is, so that doesn't make Harry Potter right. You feel what I'm saying? Or Harry Potter doesn't make VeggieTales wrong. If they both have magic, then the question is magic right or wrong? And whichever one that is, they both fall in that category. It doesn't matter if you try to cherry pick which one you want to believe.
Christian sanction. That doesn't matter. VeggieTales has a Christian sanction, and the Smurfs do not.
That don't matter. If a Christian sanction was the key, then people wouldn't be church hurt. But they get church hurt all the time. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not about it having a Christian surrounding. If it has something wrong, it just has something wrong. If magic is wrong. I don't know the answer to that question, but I'm saying cherry picking doesn't change whatever that answer is.
I understand, but again, it's hypocrisy, and hypocrisy is wrong.
No, it's hypocrisy 100%. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all.
That's what I'm saying, and the hypocrisy is what makes it wrong.
Right, the hypocrisy.
You're gonna go again.
Right.
Put it on airplane mode, girl.
Cell phones. Because like I said, that's the bigger question for me. Is sorcery and all that stuff real, and is it wrong? Like, because if it is, once again, and I make content. I'm not sitting here acting like, I've changed that or whatever. But just speaking from the perspective of somebody who's making this argument about Harry Potter and everything like that. If this is wrong, if power is wrong, if all these things are wrong, do we just continue to cherry pick on what we feel like? Well, if you watching this, we should watch this, or is there an all or nothing type of attitude that should go forth, coming from the Christian mindset?
I think we've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God.
Wow. You want to watch Power that bad?
The Lord knows my heart.
She want to watch Harry Potter.
Oh, Harry Potter that bad. Lord have mercy.
The Lord knows my heart.
That's a stronghold, Kelly. You need that Harry Potter got a stronghold.
Me and Kelly about to read the books, so she want to.
We are. I'm excited.
I'm gonna read the books. I think it's an all or nothing. However, we live in a world where they're not going to all or nothing. So I think it is then on the parent or the adult's responsibility to make sure people know the difference between fiction and facts. And I think, like you said,
but even as a Christian parent, like speak from a Christian parent's perspective, not even just a parent, because this is we're preachers' kids, so we kind of speak for the Christian community. It's kind of like we're a little loose with it now. We're a little loose.
Right. I know. I listen.
Right, but I'm saying, because even the question is, should Christian children? So I get the world with any content should parent their child and say, explain differences. But I'm saying when it comes down to you wanted to, train your child in this Christian way, what's that conversation, and how do you handle that?
Yeah, but I think Christianity in general is it's interesting. So because you have Christianity as the religion, and then you have people who actually have relationships with God, Jesus Christ, however you want to label it. So I feel like it's just two different. Like for me, I'm more about having a relationship with God. So for me, I feel like the things that were taught as far as like how to follow Jesus, are more on love and respect, kind of like the fruits of the spirit, things like that. I think the rest of it, kind of gets caught up in religion. And then that becomes a little bit more man-made. Man says this, that, and the other, and people like to interpret, like, some of the even not quote some of the verses that Terry has said, even in previous episodes. It's very easy to then, hey, this makes sense for me, or we're gonna do this as a church, or we're not gonna do this, or whatever. So I feel like if you are following. I'm more, like I said, I focus more on my relationship with God and what does God want me to do, and what do I need to go that way to make sure that I end up in heaven, not really, messing around with what, some man is saying because he's feeling good or whatever. So I feel like you will then, if you do that check, like that, temperature check there, you will be able to know, even how to maneuver. And also, like, you grown. And I'll say grown as far as, like, forget the kids, like, whoever's dictating what that kid's going to, like, do a spirit check. Like if you're watching something and it's making you feel some type of way, come on, everybody has the spirit of discernment. You have these gut feelings, So if you're watching Harry Potter and you're feeling a little extra tonight, like let's relax. Or if you're watching Power and you're like, you know what, I'm about to get out here and start, then like come on. Like also, he also gave us. I feel like sometimes we put a lot of weight or responsibility. Like God needs to come down. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, and not to mention. If the Smurfs is going to tear down your religion, it wasn't very strong. Now, was
this nigga is hurt by these Smurfs?
Smurfs, really, I'm sorry.
I'm just using it as an example. Okay, but
it's been in two examples.
If Harry Potter is going to turn your kid away from God, he wasn't going to go anyway.
That's not true.
Oh, but that's very much true.
But I feel like to that point, go ahead, Terry.
No, I was answering Rudy. It's just if Daniel Radcliffe can turn your child away from their religion, that religion isn't very strong.
I don't know what that is.
That's Harry Potter.
He's the star of the movie.
Oh, I'm like I don't.
He's Harry Potter.
I'm like I don't know. Honestly, I thought that was the name of the white dude who got off for shooting people in the protest. What is it?
That's Kyle Rittenhouse.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
It's Kyle Rittenhouse.
I thought that's what you were talking about at first. My bad. What's Harry Potter name again? His real name? Daniel. Okay. My bad, Daniel. Sorry about that. If you ever happen to see this.
He's never killed a single protester that I know.
Right. No, I wasn't aware, but got you. Daniel. I know what he looks like. I just never knew his name.
You about to be sued for slander.
Right.
If you keep screaming in that mic, Rudy, you're gonna blow out my speakers.
I don't care.
I'm gonna bill you for a new iPad.
No, I was just gonna say, I don't remember.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
You talking about me being on one lately? You've been forgetting a lot lately. Every time you, what's the question again?
I it's been a long week. I've shown up, but it's been a long week. It's a long week, but I can't remember what I was gonna say.
So I mean, do y'all know if magic and all that stuff is even wrong, right or wrong, or whatever, or real? I mean, I know magic to a certain. I mean, even movie magic is a thing, like deception, deception and whatever like that. But I'm saying the sorcery, poof, whatever, even stuff they talk about in the Bible. Throw the staff down, turn into a snake.
Magic's not real.
Splitting the sea, burning bush. I mean, is that stuff spiritual or is that magic?
Grown man, but yeah.
You think Santa Claus real? Get the fuck out of here. You just sitting there arguing yesterday about Santa Claus. It's the magic. It's the magic. You know what I said? Nicholas is real. You're doing all this, but I can't sit here and make a point. Anyways, I'm saying
Nicholas was very much real. Yes.
Okay. But so I'm saying, ladies, is it real? Can you do that stuff? Is it right or wrong?
I think I think that people practice witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
What comes from it, what manifests from their witchcraft?
3.
People read their horoscope too. That ain't real either.
True. But I do know that people, like I said, practice it. Like I said, does anything come from it? Do they? Probably no. I don't. Actually, I really don't believe that. But I do think it's very real for some people. However, to our topic, I feel like I'm tired, y'all.
Okay. She literally told us what she felt like.
I don't want to.
She literally told us what she felt like. She was like, I feel like I'm tired.
Well, it's not coming.
What about your thought, though? We get how you feel, but what about...
It's been a long week.
What happened to the thought that was there?
It left.
I agree with Kelly. I think people do practice, and I mean, what comes from it, people gonna take it. Think, oh yeah, look what happened. Right. But as far as the topic, I mean, I think you should be able to watch or read, about things that are happening in the world. I mean, like, what are you gonna do? Live in a world and not know what's happening? And then when you are, because you're gonna be approached, when you are approached, or when you do, are introduced to it, now we're like, what happened? At least you're coming in with some type of knowledge or understanding or comprehension about it.
Yeah, no, I think that's what I'm gonna say. I agree.
No ass up.
No, I mean, because you had posed the question earlier about like age limits, and what's developmentally kind of appropriate. Like you said, a 30-something-year-old watching Power is different from your 8-year-old watching Power. I mean, Harry Potter, I've never seen Harry Potter, but that may be appropriate at age 5 or 6. I mean, Harry Potter books are pretty thick, so you're not reading them at 5. You might be watching the movies, but if you read them at 5 or 6, then you genius level. But I think it should be, like I said, I think it's appropriate. But as we talked about, as Risa said earlier, and as we talked about last week, in our last
come on with your thing.
We talked about in the finale of season 1, it's all about last year, thank you. It's all about the conversation that you have with your child. Because like Risa said, like, you're going to be approached with life. And so if we shelter our kids to only see this Christian way, there's only one way of doing things, then when they're exposed to other things, especially now talking about social media, which is totally different than when we grew up, when they're exposed to other things, they're not going to know how to handle it, because we've only taught them as parents this one way to look at things through this very strict, narrow Christian lens.
But is Harry Potter that deep though? It goes back to my same feeling about the whole Santa Claus thing, because
it is that deep.
It's pretty popular.
But this is what I'm asking, because me and Kelly have existed in our lives without Harry Potter. We ain't seen shit, but yet we have not been robbed from being approached and being able to handle it. So that's why I'm not. So I get the connection with exposure to life, even maybe just shows, content, whatever. But I'm saying, is a witchcraft, magical, broom flying, whatever this school is, whatever Harry Potter is about, or any other show is about, is losing that, making you lose out on that experience of reality that you speak about?
It's making you the weirdo kid. That's what it's doing. It's making you the weirdo.
I'm saying neither me or Kelly was the weirdo kid. That's what I'm saying.
I know, but I think,
and I didn't have Harry Potter or Santa Claus. Okay, go for it, Reese.
It's not the fact that you haven't seen it; it's the fact that you weren't allowed that makes you the weirdo kid.
We was lucky not allowed.
But you also, okay, so even if you remove Harry Potter and you include Disney, you include Marvel, you include the Smurfs, you include I mean, you've been exposed to it in some kind of form or fashion. So yes, you have been exposed. You have come in contact with it. When you went to Disney World, parents took us multiple times. You were exposed to the
but I ain't never know the magic shit though. Like tangible.
But it's right. And like if you watch Harry Potter, you're not even thinking about, I mean, even as a child, them kids, like, you're not thinking about it. Even at 33, I'm like, and it's a little childish, but they had some life gems. I took the life gems. The rest of it was just, fluff. So what I'm saying is, like, and Disney does the same thing. They'll give you a little life gem in there while they, moving around everybody. And honestly, you leave the Marvel movies wanting to become everybody. But I mean, in reality, it's not going to happen. So I think you will be exposed to it. So yes, it does.
Rudy, you said you didn't see the magic. That whole park is built around 2 6-foot-tall sentient mice. That's not magic enough.
And if that's magical to you, Terry, you childish. Okay.
If there's a 6-foot sentient mouse walking around going, hoo hoo, yeah, that's magic, dude.
Yeah. This world is pretty magical.
I mean, it's a dope place. It's a dope place to go for sure. But I'm saying, like, there was no like magic to me. Like, is like, yo, I was at this basketball game. The crowd was lit. I seen LeBron dunk. Like, that's magic. That's magic to me.
That's ability. What are you talking about?
I'm saying that whole experience. That's a magical moment. The crowd, the atmosphere, the whatever. But me, like, I've never watched any movie for the magic. Like, if it ever had, like, even with the genie, I never thought about that being magic. I never thought about the VeggieTales being magic. I just watched it. So for me, I'm saying. Right.
So why can't kids do the same thing?
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
To you,
so we have our answer.
So like
I'm not against Harry Potter. I've never seen it.
You've never seen
it. But what I'm saying is that we grew up without Harry Potter, me and you, and I'm saying we were fine. So what I'm saying is, I agree with what you said about the kids need to be exposed to reality, life. So when you be approached, you can handle life. But what I'm saying is, just like with Santa Claus being taken out of Christmas, and I didn't think Christmas would go away, I don't think a Harry Potter or whatever, like, I don't think these things would be that deep that it would take away from life and being approached, is what I'm saying.
I'll tell you what it does. Because as you guys were mocking me for earlier, I was not allowed to watch the Smurfs when I was growing up. Right?
That's number 3.
Now, what do you think that did to me? Oh, it made me want to watch the Smurfs. So bad. Oh, I'd watch it at every friend's house and everything. And then when I actually got to the point where I could watch it, I was like, this sucks. Like, if you would have just let it all play out normally, you'd have gotten your way and you wouldn't have to be the bad guy.
I think what's even worse is it made you bitter at 40 on a podcast that you.
No, I'm arguing.
No, I'm saying that's what not watching the Smurfs did for you. It hurt you, man. I really.
I'm arguing. I'm using it as an analogy for the point. That it almost drove me to it. It's the same thing with a girl who's a teenager. If you tell her I don't want you seeing that boy. That's all she wants to do now.
She's going. Yeah.
Yeah. She probably won't have his baby. Congratulations.
But yeah, I mean, but that doesn't stop you from telling kids not to do stuff. They gonna always still want to do it. My parents told me not to smoke weed or,
But my
have
father
sex
taught me
before
to pick
marriage or
which
whatever.
hill
But
to die on. Pick your battles.
I think anything that you tell a kid, they're gonna still want to do. That doesn't stop you from saying don't do it.
But I think
pick your
different
battles.
things,
Like I said, it's not a battle you should die on the hill for.
Right. And I think different things make different people's lives. So, like you just said, smoking weed. Can you imagine your life without smoking weed?
Yeah, I've been not smoking weed longer than I have been.
Okay. But now, today, would you quit tomorrow?
If God told me to, sure.
Because I don't smoke weed and I feel like I haven't missed out on life because I've never been high. But there's a lot of, like, somebody asked me today when I went to California if I had went to any dispensaries. I said the thought never even crossed my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, really? And I'm like, no, because that's just not something I engage in that I do. Right. That means nothing for me. But I know that high for some people is magical. And so, but magic looks different for different people. And so, like I said, we survived without Harry Potter. The life gems that little Billy got from Harry Potter may shape his life to be the next Obama. Who knows? But I think that
Barack ain't watch Harry Potter. He wasn't allowed.
You don't know.
I'm just kidding.
The main thing is,
let me tell him.
I'm just kidding.
I think the main point is the Bible, and this goes back to what Reese said. The Bible says nothing about Harry Potter, and it says nothing about cartoons or fantasy or fiction or any of that. But because we built this puritanical society where we just started making up rules on our own, and we're like, well, God wouldn't want that. And then next thing you know, you're drowning women in a lake. You know what I mean? Because, we're whites, we're whiter than our neighbors.
And he says my analogy don't make sense. Like, what is it? Where did that even come from?
Okay, I'm talking about the Salem witch trials when they used to drown women in the lake and accuse them of witchcraft.
Or burn them at the stake, yes.
Or burn them at the stake. Yeah, well, it was more common to drowning, Yeah. And their reasoning behind that was, well, if you drowned, then you were a good Christian woman and you'll go to heaven. But if you broke free and didn't drown,
you were ahead. Then,
so it's like either die or we'll kill you later. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
That's pretty good logic.
We've been doing that for hundreds of years here, and that's all still disseminating down to where we are today.
No, I'm saying if somebody come about that water, they're a witch. Okay.
Hey, don't harp on me because you don't know things. It ain't my fault you don't know things.
I'm saying that's not a bad logic. Like, I get a lot of people probably had to die to try this out, but if somebody came about that water, it was worth it. Like, oh no, this bitch.
That's the thing. Nobody ever did. Nobody ever survived any of these things because it's not real.
No, I'm fucking around. I'm just being funny. But Reese, real quick before we go, what about your thoughts in reference to like horror films and stuff? Like especially no, but I'm not talking about like just like Scream or something. I'm talking about like the satanic horror film.
Like The Conjuring. I love The Conjuring.
Yeah, demonic. No, I understand you love it, Reese. You watch dark stuff. I get that. I'm not talking about that. But I'm saying, I'm talking about, once again, going back to the whole Christian aspect. You know what I'm saying? Like these are like some of these, maybe like Satan worshiping things, whatever. Once again, movies I haven't seen. I've never seen The Conjuring. But
so good.
Just same type of question about the Harry Potter thing, but more or less as far as like the horror, and especially when it comes down to
I feel like Christians in religion should love The Conjuring.
Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, I feel like Christians should love things like The Conjuring because it is based off of, maybe a little bit more off of Catholicism, but it's based off of all of it. It's based off Christianity, and Christianity always prevails in those movies. It's like coming against the spirit, which I do believe in spirits in a sense. So it does, but in this case, it's like a demonic spirit takes possession. It kind of goes there. Well, it's a little bit of Catholicism too, because they do exorcisms. But I think people should like it because God always wins in all of those movies, and it makes for great, it's great Hollywood magic. I mean, just seeing this stuff happen, it's crazy.
Do they deliberately give God the glory in the movie, or is it just more or less because the priest or whatever cast the demon out at the end type thing?
No, they start like they speak in tongues. I mean, like again, like, it goes more into Catholicism. So like sometimes it's the priest, sometimes it's the ministers, different people. But they talk about like in order for this to work, it's not going to be a regular person. This is like more of a spiritual situation. So God could come. I mean, they have a lot of references to God and to the Bible and things like that.
But is God getting the glory?
Well, this
my
same
question?
problem was happening back in the 70s when The Exorcist came out. And there was numerous religious groups, including the Catholic Church, who came out and said this is wicked, this is evil, even though they were performing an exorcism the same way that the Catholic Church was literally performing exorcisms at the time in real life, and God won the battle at the end. So why is it evil? Shouldn't it be like a documentary to Catholics?
That's what I thought. Because I didn't know much about exorcism, so I saw a movie because we don't talk about that in the Baptist church or non-denominational,
right?
Full gospel Baptist, whatever. All of that we don't talk
gospel.
about it. But Catholics they do a lot of exorcism. But in the Catholics, in the Catholicism they do a lot of exorcism and stuff like that. So yes, I thought it was interesting.
What about you, Kelly?
I don't watch horror films.
Kelly don't watch those.
I don't indulge in any research, anything as it relates to those things out of fear. So not out of like religious beliefs or anything like that. Just 1,000% out of like I'm just scary.
Scary, like because your imagination, or scary because you think those spirits can really get on you?
Scary, like my imagination.
Imagination.
Yeah, my imagination.
I can give you a tip on this because I used to get scared by scary movies too. Until I grew up and was like 13, and then I was an extra in a movie, and I got to see how movies got made. So every time I'd see a scary thing in a scene, I would just imagine whoever got killed just then, or whoever something horrible happened to. I just imagine the director calling cut, and then they went over like the craft service table and got bagels or something. Because that's what happened. That's the reality. Yes. That's the reality of what happened.
But no.
I also saw a clip too of a scary
Christmas. It just takes all the magic out.
I also saw a scary movie clip where they showed a scene and they showed it unedited. And if you watch it without all the movie magic, it is so boring. It doesn't have any of like the special effects. It have no music. It literally looks silly. Like they're looking at nothing. Yeah. I was like, oh wow, this really killed my mood because I love a good horror, dark, crime, all of that. Yeah. It's
the same as like those clips on YouTube of like the Big Bang Theory, but without the laugh track. It's horrible. Like
that's my show.
Well, watch it without the laugh track. It won't be.
No, I cannot. I binged I cannot. That is it for me. Blasphemy to talk about the Big Bang Theory in a negative light.
Big Bang Theory is definitely the devil. They talk about science,
molecules,
and God created.
It seems more like she's more offended by that than this entire conversation.
God created
more about the Big Bang Theory than she does about God.
There was no Big Bang. God did it. God did it. All right. Church announcements, Kellie.
All righty. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for getting this far. Make sure that you follow us at The Worst Ones PK on Instagram. In terms of listening to us, in terms of tuning in terms of watching us, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you can find your podcast, make sure you type in The Worst Ones Podcast. And then when you get there, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. As always, thank you to our 500,100,000 followers.
No problem.
For tuning in each week. It's season 2, episode 1. You made it through with us over a year. So we are appreciative of you still being here. My personal page, which may be open by January, it may be open at this point in time. We're gonna do some reconstruction. At Princess Kels 51. That may not even be my thing anymore. But at Princess Kels 51.
All right.
Still be her name. And then you can follow me, my personal page, Risa_G, or my online nail shop, Non-Tradition Nail, your favorite online boutique for all things nails. I would say check out our 12 days of deals, but by the time this comes out, those will be gone.
Can you do anything with these? Because I bite them.
Lord have mercy.
You can get you some cuticle oil and a couple nail files for sure to help you, you know.
No,
you need some whole new fingers.
I can't do this.
Throw the whole hand away. Those are awful. All right. Go for it, Terry.
At Terry Wayne Comedy, all social media platforms. I've got a couple things coming up. I'll be at Just the Funny on the 18th. I will also be at a really cool show that I can't wait to be a part of, the Uncle Scotchy's storytelling extravaganza, where it's not necessarily a comedy show, but it's done by comedians, and it's a storytelling setting, and you just make a one-off story. It's no material. You just tell some particular story and try to make it, I guess, as funny as you can while you're telling it. But it has to be real, has to be true about you, and hopefully it'll be entertaining. But I'm really excited because I've been doing comedy for 10 years. I've never done anything like this. So
it sounds like fun. Yeah.
Are you aware of that show down there in Miami?
I am.
Have you done it yet?
I have not.
Oh, it'd be perfect for you because you do a lot of crowd work anyway, a lot of improv right off the top of your head thing. So you should hit him up. All right. That's on the 15th of this month in Miami. So if you're down there, hit it up.
In January or is this December?
No, this is this one. Yeah.
You missed it. So this came out in January. So hopefully Terry killed that show. Told a great hopefully he killed it. He told a great story.
Killed it.
Killed it. Great story.
Right.
So I'm sure there'll be another one in January at some time. So look out for it for sure.
Sure.
Or sometime in the new year. For myself, at Rudy of All Trades is my personal page, just like Jack of All Trades, except with Rudy. At the podcast official page, the last Monday of every month, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom. If you want to join the live conversation, 815-499-0955 is the Zoom ID. That is it. Reese, how you feel being back on the podcast?
I feel great. Thanks again for having me. I did well.
She's so expressive.
No, you're wonderful.
She's like the Jim Carrey of doing nails. You know?
You're very wonderful to have you back. I don't get that reference either, but
she's got the rubber face.
I got it.
Very expressive.
Oh, expressive. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Would you watch a movie, Rudy? Jeez, no Harry Potter, no Jim Carrey. What's the matter with you?
No, I watch Jim Carrey.
He watched Jim Carrey.
That's
Cable Guy through.
That's one of my favorite actors of all time. But anyways, Risa, we enjoyed. Ace Ventura's we enjoyed having you back. Of course, you're welcome back anytime. If you're waiting on your brother,
you always say that, but I never get the invite. Only Janessa had
this
is
the invite. No, that's what I was just getting ready to tell you. If you're waiting for your brother, if you're waiting for your brother to give you another invite outside of this one, you're gonna never get back on. Okay, so take
the ladies handle the guests.
Take the invite now, and when you're ready to come back, just say, "Hey," like you know us. Just say it. Like, it's not like you got to go through a secretary, nothing. Just, hey, I want to come back on. You're here. All right.
By the way, I officially followed Terry too on Instagram.
There you go.
It made me excited. Yeah, I didn't know that. You kept saying it every week, and then I think one day, Kellie had posted it, or whoever had social media. Excuse me, I don't know now in January, but Kellie had previously when she was on social media.
Well, what'd you?
Kellie had added everybody, and I pressed the follow button.
Well, what did you think of my food? Because that's really all I care about on my Instagram.
Oh, you make I don't see the stories. I saw your food for Thanksgiving. It looked good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You had like pies and stuff. I was like, Terry, really good.
Oh no!
Kellie
If you go
your
to
food
the
was
page,
good.
if you go to the page, it's everything I ever made is on there.
Okay, I'm gonna go on.
Well, guys, how about we wrap this up and we can chat about this afterwards. This podcast over with. Thank you so much for sticking with us through season 1. Making it with us to season 2. We're keeping this gravy train going. We are the worst ones. We are Preacher's Kids. We out.
Put them up.
And we love you.
Top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world.